J.D. Vance, he is speaking out about censorship on social media.
If a Trump-Vance team is elected to the White House, will you stay neutral when it comes to social media and the press?
Well, look, we'll stay neutral, but certainly we think that there are some laws that we have to worry about. These companies are too big and too powerful, especially these big tech companies that censor American citizens and say nothing of Donald Trump. That is the revelation of censorship in a way that affected an American election. We should be really concerned about it, and frankly, it suggests that both our government and the big tech censors, they're way too powerful. We're going to cut this stuff out.
Kara Frederick is an expert in this field, and she joins me now. Kara, he was just referring to the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up, and it did indeed affect our last election. I want to know, is it too late to do anything about it?
You know, at this point, I would say the damage has been done. You have to remember that less than a month ago, 29 days ago, Facebook censored that iconic photo of Trump raising his fist defiantly in the air during his assassination attempt. They labeled it as misinformation. So the train is still on the tracks and going full steam ahead. I caution people who are taking a victory lap for free speech over Zuckerberg's confession not to get too excited, because you have to understand that this is happening in the background through their internal tools, again, through that labeling, that suppression, that de-ranking of content. But, you know, frankly, J.D. Vance has the best policy instincts when it comes to big tech and how their consolidation of power visits this type of censorship on one section of the American populace, those who think like us. So I think he's very serious when he says he's going to kick butt and take names.
Zuckerberg came out with this confession 70 days before the election. Is the timing suspect? Why did he do it now?
Oh, he's quite obviously hedging his bets. Because Mark, I tell people this all the time, he is not stupid. He's a sophisticated actor. His own personal instincts are very good. Sometimes the politicals and the PR people get their hands on him, kind of mess him up a little bit, and he makes bad decisions. But he's a very savvy, very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Again, that censorship is still going on in the background, but he's looked at the landscape and he said, the Democrats aren't going to touch me because they like what Facebook is doing to Republicans. Republicans, especially the establishment Republicans, they're just going to write strongly worded letters, but they're not really going to pass any laws that hurts Facebook. And so he's pretty much scot-free. So he's really hedging his bets when it comes to this one, acting like he has some veneer of compunction. But in the end, they're doing what they've done in the first place: censor and suppress and police the speech of Americans.
You don't think it's going to change at all, period, no matter what?
No, you know, I'm glad to see Zuckerbucks are ostensibly off the table, but we know suppressing speech isn't. He can make all these, overtures to the Joe Rogan crowd. He can learn how to fight. He can surf with the American flag. But at the end of the day, Mark Zuckerberg is gonna Mark Zuckerberg, and that means doing things to help the left.
Kara Frederick tells it how it is. Kara, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you again soon.